Let's move on then to the Bias Plus reports. Now, the Bias Plus reports, ladies and gentlemen, take these rankings into account and look at the differentials in terms of net points and turnover differential between the two teams. Team with the greater net points, average turnover differential ranking will generally be what we call the favored team and the team that has the bias plus. The bias is the differential in net points. The plus takes into account turnovers. So let's take a look at what we have here. We're going to kick this thing off, Benny, with those Bears in that NFC North at the Lions with a bias plus score of 15.7, favoring the Lions. Hey, this is like a map with all the teams in the background.
Yeah, I see that. It's pretty neat. I like that.
Yeah, I think, but it's kind of old because they still got the Raiders over in California. They haven't moved them over to the North.
Oh, they didn't move them. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's an older version. But
Right.
okay.
Okay. So Lions get a home game. They're 10-1. They're looking strong. Bears got to make that trip. Divisional matchup. Let's see what we got here. So I must say, before the Bears fired their offensive coordinator and installed Thomas Brown as the new offensive coordinator, it was looking like maybe Caleb Williams wasn't going to be the sure thing NFL quarterback that he was drafted as, at least not in my eyes. But then their home game against division rival Minnesota turned out to be his second solid performance in a row. So now I'm kind of intrigued again. I got to keep an eye on Caleb, see if he can really get it done. The Bears were down 24-10 when they stopped the Vikings on downs at the Chicago 36. There was 12 minutes left in the game at that time. They then put together 3 scoring drives. Way to go, Caleb. 3 scoring drives during which time the Vikings actually could only muster a field goal. They scored on a touchdown pass to DJ Moore, another touchdown pass to Keenan Allen, and a 48-yard Cairo Santos field goal that tied the score at 27 and sent the game into overtime. Good job, Caleb. Unfortunately, they went 3 and out on their first drive in overtime, and they lost 30-27 on a Vikings field goal. Tough luck there, but a valiant effort by the Bears and a very strong performance by Caleb Williams. Now, the Lions rolled into Indy last week with a balanced offensive attack, 36 pass attempts, 26 completions, and 269 in yardage, 33 rush attempts, 137 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the ground. They had 0 turnovers. Defensively, they weren't spectacular, but they did shut out the Colts the entire second half, and they won the game 24-6. The Lions at home, they're really on top of their game right now. And although their defense, like I said, wasn't spectacular in this last game, they really didn't have to be. They're very much improved from the beginning of the year, definitely much improved from the way they were last year. They're so young. They're coming along week after week, just like Philadelphia's defenses. These are 2 defenses I've been watching that look like they might be an issue for strong offensive teams, but they're really coming along at the right time. I got to go with the Lions on this one. They're at home, and they are without a doubt the best team in the NFL right now.
Okie dokie, going with the bias, going with the Lions. I tell you, those guys, man. Now, Benny, that was these are all now let me double check here because this is the holiday weekend, which means that games are being played on an unusual time schedule.
Yeah, we got 3 on Thanksgiving, we got 1 on Good Friday, and then everything else is Sunday and Monday.
So that was the first Thanksgiving game. Your Giants at Cowboys is the second.
Yes.
All right, let's take a quick look here. Giants at Cowboys, bias plus score of 2. Too many.
Yeah, but it favors the Giants.
Yeah, baby. What you
There's a
gonna
who would have
do?
thunk it. That's a who would have thunk it for you right there. So my 2-9 New York Football Giants, excuse me, lost to the Buccaneers last weekend. Uh, Dexter Lawrence probably said it best, my starting defensive tackle, Sexy Dexy. And he said after the game, we played soft and they beat the bleep out of us. And he didn't say bleep.
Is
So
that what you
that's pretty
said?
much sums up that game. They got shut out through the first 3 quarters of the game. And they finally put together a drive and got 2-yard touchdown run from Devin Singletary, making the final score 30-7, a win for Tampa Bay. Ay caramba. Dallas Cowboys. Wow. So this was some game. Let me tell you. I heard word on the street was that the Cowboys were setting up what some media people were calling a soft tank, like kind of tank without anybody noticing, to get a better chance at a high draft pick in the 2025 draft. But then they traveled down to Washington to play the Commanders, a division rival, obviously, and got kind of crazy. First of all, both teams traded field goals, both teams missed field goals, and both teams had turnovers all in the first half. It was erratic on both sides. Then both teams scored touchdowns on their opening possessions of the second half to get the score to 10-9. The score was 27-17 late in the fourth quarter after both teams scored touchdowns again. And then the real fun began. I hope I got everything right here. Washington kicked a field goal. That's Austin Seibert, one of the best kickers this year, kicked a field goal to get within 27-20 with 1:40 on the clock. Dallas ended up punting with 40 seconds left on the clock. Then Washington scored again on a Jalen Daniels to Terry McLaurin. Beautiful, miraculous 86-yard catch and run for a touchdown. But Austin Seibert, great kicker that he has been this year, missed the extra point. This threw everything off. He makes the extra point, and they can hold on and take the game in overtime. But because he missed it, now they had to try an onside kick to try to get back into the game or get the ball back, get back into the game. And then not only did he miss the extra point, but he kicked the onside kick directly to Cowboy safety Wanye Thomas. He scooped it up and returned it 43 yards for a touchdown. That put the Cowboys up 34-26. And then they walked off with an interception on Jalen Daniels to win the game, or for Washington to lose the game. There's an opportunity here for the Giants to win this game against Washington. I mean, against the Cowboys, I'm sorry. I don't think it's going to happen if Tommy Cutlets plays. But if for whatever reason, supposedly he's really banged up, for whatever reason, Drew Lock starts this game, I know I have to pick a team. I'm supposed to pick a team, but I want to say if Drew Lock starts this game, I really think the Giants can win this game. But I'm going to take the Cowboys to win the game. I'm not feeling real good about my team right now, obviously.
Going against the bias, going with the Cowboys. And, you were talking about the Cowboys relative to a soft tank.
Yeah.
Wasn't Drew Lock the backup quarterback?
Okay, I went over that story last week. So all season long, Drew Lock was the backup quarterback to Daniel Jones. Then when they decided to end this thing with Daniel Jones, which that's another story in itself, instead of making Drew Lock the starter, they left him as the backup, and they promoted the third stringer, Tommy DeVito, up to start the game. Some people are saying they did that because they thought it would keep the fans interested. Because, when he played last year, the fans liked him. Everybody cheered. They liked when he did this, when he scored, and all the whole grew up in Jersey thing and all that stuff. This ain't no time to be pandering to the fans right now. You got to be trying to put your team back together, man. Things are falling apart here. It's crazy. And what's really bad now after the game is Malik Neighbors, who's a rookie, first rounder, but still a rookie, gets interviewed in the locker room and says, it ain't the quarterback. Whatever problems we have, it's not the quarterback. It wasn't DJ, which is what they call Daniel Jones, and it wasn't DeVito today. And then when he said, well, if it's not the quarterback, then who is it? And he said, I don't know, but it's not the quarterback. So you're basically saying it's the coach. I think they're losing this locker room, man. This is really a bad thing for the Giants, really is. And they may not be able to recover until people start getting fired.
When you said soft tank relative to the Cowboys, and then when we look at the Giants and we go, let's not put the best quarterback there, the backup.
Oh, okay, I get you. That's what you mean. That's a possibility.
They had a soft tank, in New York, and they, kind of little.
Yeah, but they don't need a soft
tanky.
tank. A team that soft tanks is a team like Dallas that doesn't want people to really realize that that's what they're doing, because Jerry Jones just can't bring himself to admit that he needs to do like something like that to fix his team. The Giants have nothing to hide. They've made mistake after mistake after mistake. Let's just try to fix this thing. I mean, it's crazy.
All right. Okay. All right. We probably went on too long talking about the Giants and the Cowboys. And I'm sitting here thinking, when I first saw that on Thanksgiving, I'm like, shouldn't they try to flex somebody else into that spot?
Nah, that's already predetermined that the Cowboys play on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I know. It's too much tradition. All right. Going against the bias, going with the Cowboys, Benny. Shuts down. This is a potential intriguing game of the week. Yes, there is a bigger game. A bigger game. But the bigness is not intrigue. Intrigue is when you have some other things going on, And Dolphins at Packers. The bias plus score of 11 favors the Packers as it is. But you know me on my soapbox to get Tua. I got some stats on Tua, man. Let me tell you something. Tua's getting it done. The drama here, from what I understand, is Tua's here to, as he says, dispel the narrative that they can't play in cold weather, and his record and under 50 degrees is abysmal, no doubt about it. But this is my statement. If Tua goes in to Lambeau Field in a snowstorm and frigid weather, which is what's being forecast, and plays big, much less wins, my forecast is you will hear Tua Tagovailoa's name in the MVP conversation on the shows that follow. And let me tell you who's the closest to saying it, because he's the one that really has been pointing out a lot about Tua. And that would be on the Breakfast Ball, Danny, the guy named Danny, the only non-player, the reporter guy. He's the one that keeps noticing what Tua's doing. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if he at least throws his name out. But I think this is a very intriguing matchup. The Packers just finished spanking up on my beloved Niners. We'll talk about that. And the Dolphins are on a roll. And from what I understand, they have a number of players on the team, including the head coach, who are from cold states. So as a team, not everybody is all heated up down there.
Oh my God.
So let's see how this happens. What do you got?
You got to be kidding me, man. Guys from cold states.
The head coach is from like Wisconsin.
He lives in Florida.
Now
he don't care where he's from.
But now he does, but he's from the cold places.
I don't care. He lives in Florida.
Can't help that.
your body adapts to where you live. You know that, right?
Well, to some degree,
Well,
I understand,
I got
but
but
we have memories of putting on some really
okay.
good
Yeah,
clothes.
memory's going to keep you warm. That's a good one.
Yep.
Since returning from IR in week 8, Tua Tagovailoa has thrown 11 touchdowns and only one interception. Is that what you were looking for?
Man, that's one of them. That's a nice one right there.
Okay. All right, there you go. I got that for you. The Dolphins whipped the Patriots 34-15 this past weekend. Tua had another big day, 317 yards, 4 touchdown passes. That's excellent. The Miami run game didn't contribute a lot, but Tua shredded the Patriots secondary so badly it really didn't matter.
Wow.
Now, as far as the Packers are concerned, after struggling a bit but winning a close one over the Bears in week 11, the Packers needed another win to keep up in the NFC North standings, and a solid win would be even better. They got both. Convincing 38-10 win over your 49ers did the trick for them. They looked better and they got the win. They leaned heavily on their run game, led by Josh Jacobs. He had 106 yards and 3 touchdowns on 26 strong carries. That's one of his better days, if not his best day as a Packer. I'd have to double check that, but it sounds like it to me. Jordan Love only had 163 yards through the air, but he did throw 2 touchdown passes. The defense only had 2 sacks and 3 quarterback hits, but they did have 3 takeaways.
Mm.
I understand that the weather is not going to be good in Green Bay this weekend. I don't know how bad it's going to be or how cold it's going to be. I didn't look that up. We could easily find that though. But I don't care if it's 65 and sunny. The Packers are going to beat Miami.
Yeah, well, you know, oh man, it's 28 degrees out there right now.
28 now, and it's a night game.
Oh my goodness. Weather for Thursday, snow showers.
Beautiful.
30 degrees high, low of 22. So,
Lower 22 means a wind chill factor of about 15.
and let me tell you, Tua said he's here to dispel narratives.
Yeah, well, that's what he's supposed to say. Good job.
Ben's going with the bias, going with the Packers.